Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia's passing on Saturday left a giant vacancy in the nation's highest court.
And now the talk turns to when his successor will be named. CBS 4's Dan Joseph has more in this week's Say What.
The death of a Supreme Court justice during an election year becomes a major issue for the president and for candidates on the campaign trail. Should Congress delay a vote on a Supreme Court nominee until a new president is elected, and why?
Absolutely not. When we lose someone on the Supreme Court, there are too many decisions that have to be made, not before the election's going to be over.
Instead of having political differences and saying, well, we don't want to vote on it from the Republican side because it's to our advantage, and the Democrats saying it could be to our advantage, so we should, I think they should follow the protocol.
I think it's their responsibility to do it now.
If a nominee is not confirmed until after a new president takes office, Supreme Court rulings could be a tie, which means lower court rulings stand. Is this a concern for you?
Not really, because historically that's not been an issue.
No, laws are laws.
No, I don't think so.
If the president nominates a candidate but the Congress fails to confirm that person, is it fair to say this is another example of gridlock in Washington? And is gridlock on this issue acceptable or not?
Providing the fact that they do the proper vetting, if Congress blocks it, then absolutely that's another gridlock. If they do the proper vetting and it takes longer than expected because they're vetting it properly, then no, it's not an issue. Too many times politics gets in the middle of running this country.
It's not acceptable, and it hasn't been acceptable for the past 8 years.
I think there's enough Republicans that are worried about whether they're going to get reelected that they may vote.
Do you approve or disapprove the way the Supreme Court is handling its job?
Yes, I do. And I've heard Mr. Scalia speak at a convention, and I was overwhelmed with how intelligent he was. Very nice man. We're sorry for his loss.
I sometimes wonder when we have split votes in the Supreme Court, I wonder if we're going the same lines that we're doing with Congress, but they still have to abide by the law.
I believe sincerely the people that accept those positions that have been vetted are doing the best they can with what they've got.
For CBS 4 News and ValleyCentral.com, I'm Dan Joseph.
In a CBS poll released this morning, 47% of voters said they would like to see the next justice appointed by President Obama, while 46% said they would like to wait until a new president is elected in November. Justice Scalia's funeral will be held Saturday morning in Washington.